marijuana retail permit. Next slide. Okay. Who we are. Up front, we have a list of myself and my partners I'm going to introduce tonight. Again, I'm Ryan Kunkel. I founded the company in 2011. With me tonight, I have Ed Mitchell, my Chief Operating Officer, Xenia Couture, my Director of Business Development, and Josh Udovich, my Director of Licensing. I'm going to give you a brief history of the company, just to give you an idea of who we are. We started the company in 2011 in Seattle, Washington. Within a couple years, we managed to scale that into 6 locations within the state of Washington, and we did so organically, which means no outside capital raising. Since then, we've been able to expand into 5 states, also organically. The states include Hawaii, Oregon, California, and most recently, we've acquired 2 of the 5 licenses in the state of Iowa. One of the main tenets of the company is we started as a medical cannabis company, and regardless of the markets we operate in, being adult use, we will always be a medical first company. So I want to introduce Ed Mitchell again to come in and talk about the company mission.
That's right. So my name is Ed Mitchell. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Have a Heart. I think it would be unfair to talk about our values without talking about us individually. The people that you see standing behind you have given up a significant amount of income and other opportunities to come and work for Have a Heart. And to do the work we're doing, we believe we're doing something really, really good. And that is our company motto, do good. That's it. So we're always trying to do good and do better. Xenia gave up probably 50% of her income to come and work with us. Josh did the same, and I've watched Ryan go through tremendous challenges to continue to stay in this business and do what we're doing. I met these guys. I met Ryan about 4 years ago. He took my brother off the street who was homeless, gave him a job, gave him work. I hadn't seen my brother in a couple of decades. He actually even bought him teeth, which I thought was pretty awesome. And when I met Ryan, I had a conversation with him. He asked me to come and work for him. About a week later, I thought about it, and I looked at the work that he was doing. I had a real short stint doing some consulting for him, and I took an 85% pay cut and came to work for him. And I've been doing this work with him ever since. We've picked up some pretty great partners. Mike over here, who wasn't mentioned, has come on to do some stuff with us. Very successful guy who's also giving up a lot to come and do this work. So I'm going to tell you a brief story. I'm going to try to make this quick. I can be a little long-winded, so start doing your head like this if I'm talking too long. My oldest daughter is severely mentally disabled. She has obsessive-compulsive disorders and a range of anxiety disorders. About 5 years ago, she was virtually completely incapacitated. She was an automaton. She was on 13 medications simultaneously. The doctors had prescribed for her, including 3 opioids. My older brother suggested that I give her cannabis. I didn't understand at the time. I thought it was just something people used to get stoned. But I was desperate. He mixed up some potion he gave to her, and I saw my daughter for the first time in 20 years, and it affected me deeply. And I am actually working right now to wean my mother off of opioids. She has muscular dystrophy, and I've been working with her for about 6 months. She's virtually opioid-free. She's in a nursing home in Alameda, California, and this is something I see. I can't turn away from this, and we haven't been able to turn away from this. We're looking at 3 different areas that we've been able to help people. The first one is medical. There's so many, and if you haven't done the research on cannabinoids, I would suggest that you do. I guarantee you that in the next 10 years, cannabinoids are going to change medicine significantly. Cannabinoids control signal processing in the body and allow the brain to communicate with the body and the body to communicate with the brain. Most of the people in this room are cannabinoid deficient, and if you don't know it already, all the cannabinoids that are in the plant are in your body right now. All the cannabinoids that are in that plant are in your body right now. You are all on marijuana right now. The endocannabinoid system is the most vital system in the human body for establishing and maintaining human health. And it's going to change medicine. It's been a secret. It's been kept a secret for decades. And we believe that the only way that we can help the public is to mainstream it. And that means that we can't just say that it's medicine. We have to also pursue the recreational portion of the business, because everywhere we've gone where there's been medical cannabis, the recreational business has overwhelmed it, and the medical business has been virtually wiped out. We don't do that. We've continued to support medical patients. It's the basis of what we do. It's the founding principle of the business. We believe that it's a safer alternative to mood alteration than alcohol or the other illicit drugs. Alcohol kills 4 times as many people as all the illicit drugs combined every year. Prescription drugs kill twice as many. And marijuana has never been proven to kill a single human being. As a matter of fact, you need a truckload of cannabis to even begin to harm a human being. It's part of what we're made of. It's like adding blood. That's the way I look at it. We have to increase the acceptance of cannabis as a legitimate form of mood alteration before people are really going to accept the value of it. Like I said, if you haven't done the research, I'd suggest that you just go on the web. Look, see what it says about the things that have happened for people. You know, my mother, I've seen the changes in her, I've seen the changes in my daughter. And I'm going to tell you this, and this is the last point I'll make about this. I use cannabis on a daily basis, but I haven't been stoned in 20 years. I use CBD. I'm 58 years old. I play basketball with 20-year-old kids, and the only way I'm able to do that is to deal with my pain issues. And they don't like it when I'm out there. They call me the old timer. They don't like what I do to them because I can still play with them. I'm 58 years old, and it's all as a result of using cannabinoids. So our people, the people that we're going to bring out here, we're going to have a mix of people that we bring out here. The first part that I want to share with you is that we do have a team of people in Washington that manage all our businesses. Marketing, all those other very key staff positions are going to be held in Washington, but we will have several dozen people that are working here in the city. We're going to employ virtually everyone in our shops from your city. And we're going to have a whole group of people. It takes a certain group of people to do this. We were very disappointed when we came to California and looked at the condition of the cannabis shops in California. They called themselves medical. We don't agree that that's what they were or what they are. We were very disappointed. And what we've decided to do is come down and put our fingerprint on the cannabis industry in California. The people that we bring into the businesses go through significant training. Before somebody gets on the floor, they go through almost 100 hours of training just to be able to talk to a guest, because people are coming in looking for an effect. Some of it is relief from pain. Some of it is looking for relief from medical problems. Some of it is just to relax, and most people don't realize 50% of people that use cannabis use it to relax. 30% use it for medicine. Only 5% of people that use cannabis are what are considered stoners. So we're going to bring our people down to train people here. We're going to bring some of the people from here to Washington and train them, and we think we'll be able to make a significant impact on your community in terms of income for them and jobs. These are the wages that we'll be paying. This is the licensed security personnel. Chief, don't get worried. This is what we'll be paying to third parties to hire people and come and work to secure our stores. That's the part I'm saying don't worry about. So that's about what we're going to have to pay a third party, but they will be contracting individuals to work for us. We offer a wide group of opportunities and benefits. Although Washington State is 72% Caucasian, the people that work in our stores are about 50% ethnic. And most of our shop managers happen to be female. We don't know why that works that way, but that seems to be the way it works out. They seem to treat our guests better. We train people at a very high level. We actually have a union now that is trying to get us to build their apprenticeship program for them, because they've seen our training program and they think it's the best available in the country today. We are going to provide tuition reimbursements. So if you have people in your community that want to go to junior colleges, we're going to pay their tuitions for them. We're going to do transitional job placements. So if you have people that are having a difficult time that need to move from low-paying jobs or people that have been in trouble that need to move back into an earning position, we're going to work with them. In that respect, we promote from within. So we hire people at the frontline level, and we train them in every level of the business so they can move up to our manager positions, and if they're good enough, we move them into staff. And we do provide monthly and quarterly bonuses. So that pay scale is only the beginning of the pay. We incent people to do good. So I hope that helps. I'm going to introduce X to you. She's going to, oh, Josh? Is Josh next? So this is Josh Yudovich. Thanks, guys.
Hello. So I'm going to cover a little bit about the operations of the business here in Coalinga. We, as Ed mentioned, we take a strong focus on education and educational opportunities. We provide over 100 hours for all of our patient care consultants and adult use product consultants. That's what we call all of the guest-facing employees of our retail locations. And over the last 9 years, we've really worked on building up our educational program that has been built from within, and we take a lot of pride in the education that we provide all of our employees. We're going to offer multiple product types. At most of our stores in Washington State and what we've been sourcing here in California, we offer over 2,000 individual SKUs. That varies from tinctures, capsules, topicals, flour, pre-rolls, and concentrates. And we're going to make sure that we bring those here to Coalinga as well. In order to reduce traffic in the location, and then also to expedite and make it easier for people to get what they'd like if they're returning customers, we take advantage of online ordering and online delivery. That's always with, if it's for online ordering for delivery, it's always with people that have been pre-cleared before by entering into our retail location. Identification is checked at the end of all transactions as well as at the time that people enter our dispensary, and that makes sure that we comply with all state and federal laws and reduce diversion. A large part of what we expect there to be within Coalinga is delivery. All of our vehicles will be unmarked and equipped with security features such as LoJack and GPS tracking. We also have a central dispatcher that's part of our employee plan in order to make sure that they're monitoring and in touch with the delivery drivers at all time. Ed was also touching a lot on our medical and on our medical focus and our care that we give for all of our patients. We really take medical cannabis seriously, and we have a board of advisors in Washington State that includes Warren Buck, who's a researcher at University of Washington, and we incorporate a lot of their research and a lot of their feedback into our patient care plans. In addition, we have multiple periodicals, multiple handouts for all of our patients, and we also have a dedicated person in Seattle to field phone calls and help people with some of their needs if they have more advanced medical needs. I mentioned our training program before. On the right side of this slide is our Moodle training course. All of those fields are interactive and take you to learning portals. At the end of each of these learning portals, there's also an exam that's given. We give exams in person for people that have learning disabilities in order to make sure that we're able to deal with all the various types of employees that we have. Our proposed location is at 286 North 5th Street, about a half a block from here. And one of the concerns that we've been talking with the city about recently is on-site parking. As of right now, our on-site parking is to be dedicated only for customers, and we're currently in negotiations and discussions in order to provide parking for our employees and delivery vehicles off-site. Our layout design over on the right side of this slide is the entrance to the proposed dispensary. There's a small waiting area and then a nice customer flow that leads you through the waiting area into the product areas and then out back to the street again. All deliveries will be from the northeast rear side of the building, which should minimize the amount of traffic that we have on that side. There's also enough space for us to have a vehicle parked there so that we can actually pull delivery straight out without impacting traffic flow. We take safety and security second to our training and medical programs. We're intending on having a 24-hour security presence on the site. We will always have manned cameras, and those security feeds will be available to the Coalinga Police Department. In addition, we'll make sure that we have knock boxes for all emergency personnel in case any emergencies happen after hours. We will be updating the proposed facility with new security equipment. We also have a security group, almost like a neural network that we call it up in Seattle, where we have employees that monitor cameras 24 hours a day. During closing hours in particular, they look for anything anomalous that's taking place in any of the stores and are in touch with local managers and local police if any incidents occur. We're also working with Greenbits, which has full integration with the state seed-to-sale tracking system metric, and we have experience with them for the last 6 years in Washington State, and in Metric now, or with Metric, we've now been working with them in 3 different states. I'm going to hand over to Xenia Couture at this point. Thank you very much.
So in order to calculate how big the market is and what our expected revenue is, we had our analytics team look at area factors, which includes population density of the city, surrounding bans and moratoriums, size of the target market, any outside or tourism-based traffic flow, and then also retail location metrics. So our 286 North 5th Street property, we looked at vehicle traffic, the walking score, how accessible it is via transit, the accessibility and visibility for major roadways, and our expected delivery radius. So based on all those factors, we could come up with a market value. So plugging in specific things from our retail location and the city. So our expected delivery radius is 65 miles, so that gives us a population of about 500,000. Based on our historical data from our 5 existing stores in Washington, we could estimate that about 500,000 people in population would translate to a target market of about 50,000, and the number of transactions would be 20,000, which would give us a projected annual revenue of about $13.75 million. Which then translates to taxes. State and local taxes in year 3 would equate to about $5.5 million. 10% of our revenue would go to the city of Coalinga. So in year 3, that's estimated to be $1.5 million.
So I made this slide to illustrate that our partnership with local law enforcement is directly tied to the tax revenue of the city. So right now, whether anyone's aware of it or not, there is a thriving black market cannabis sales system in your city. It's in every city, and as a regulated market comes into place, we need the assistance of local law enforcement to prioritize the illicit operators in order to redirect that cash flow and achieve the sales with the tax revenue that we hope to achieve. So the way we see it, and what we've learned in other states, is law enforcement begins to prioritize black market operators. It will conform the system and allow us to compete. If not, the black market thrives, and then we are priced out of business. We've seen this all over Oregon, and if anyone, feel free to check the data on that. But anytime cannabis is not a priority for law enforcement, the system is fledgling and it falls apart, and the black market thrives. And our goal is to work with your local law enforcement and make sure that we can assist in any way so that we can redirect that. So hope to have a good, fruitful relationship.
So in case it hasn't become obvious with everything we've said tonight, it's important for us to be more than just a business. We really prioritize integrating with the community, and as such, we want to support and help the community thrive, and we see us doing that in several ways. First, part of our business model is assigning a % of our profits to charitable donations. So those would go to nonprofit partners such as Imaginarium and other organizations that we've reached out to. Also, we want to support anti-drug programming in the schools. we're creating jobs in the community, and we want these jobs to empower the people that work for us, as Ed discussed. And then also taxes that we're generating will obviously go to funding city initiatives, and as the mayor discussed earlier, code enforcement and other projects that are really high priority for the city. And then lastly, we're very dedicated, again, to medical, and a huge part of that is medical donations. So just last year alone, we donated over $250,000 in product to medical patients, and we want to replicate that model and continue to grow it here in Coalinga and across our stores and the communities that we're involved in. So in summary, we're a mission-driven company. We prioritize supporting our patients. We put compliance and the safety and security of our employees and guests. That is our highest priority. We want to support the government with clear channels of communication, transparent business practices, and lastly, we're dedicated to becoming part of the Coalinga community. So we'd like to open it up for questions now. Thank you so much.